I'm Ryan O'Doud, and you're listening to Ryan's Audiobooks on the Issues Magazine YouTube channel. Today we're picking up with section 1011 of Adam from the Son of Knowledge by Lex Hixon Nur Al Jerrahi. We're picking up in chapter 5, Islamic Meditations. Prayer. Within the royal garden of human reality shines the white rose of the noble Sharia, the sacred law, the holy way of life. To follow Sharia is to live in harmony with creation and in communion with its sublime creator. This way was clearly demonstrated by the lover of prayer, the lover of fragrance, and the lover of love, the beloved Muhammad. May mystic union with divine love always belong to him, to his beautiful family, and to those who love him. This impeccable white rose, this purity of action and intention, radiant as the gentle morning sun, grows beside the river of prayer, where the lovers plunge and swim together joyfully 5 times every day. Not even a mote of dust can remain upon the mirrors of their hearts. Earthly temporality has become the 5 periods of prayer that follow each other gracefully, as the green earth rotates and revolves within the harmony of the cosmic Quran, whose ayats, whose signs or verses constitute the creation. Hours of sun time are now revealed as hours of prayer time, and the universe is disclosed as an instrument for the supreme music of prayer. The white light that spreads across the horizon is the delicate presence of dawn prayer, the perpetual dawn of aspiration. The zenith of the sun's arc is the powerful presence of the noon prayer, the natural uprightness of the human soul. The slanting afternoon light is the sustaining radiance of afternoon prayer, the divine grace of continuous spiritual nourishment. The twilight that blossoms fragrantly after sunset is the tranquility of evening prayer. The rich darkness, radiantly black or shining with moonlight or starlight, is the mystery of night prayer, which prepares holy lovers for the midnight sunrise of mystic union. The man of perfect prayer, upon him be peace, prayed many more than the 5 basic prayers of Islam. Affirms his youngest wife, the jeweled light of his eyes, and the sublime transmitter of 1/3 of his oral tradition, Aisha, mother of the faithful. May Allah ennoble her in mystic love. The Prophet used to remember Allah at all times. Nevertheless, within these 5 brief periods of prayer, the entire range of spiritual experience is expressed perfectly each day. Similarly, within the graceful movements of a single cycle of prostration or rakat, all forms of angelic praise occurring throughout the heavenly realms are joined together harmoniously and become the vehicle for the mystical ascension of the faithful. Dawn prayer is the sweet submission of the soul to Allah alone. Noon prayer is the responsible and beautiful life of courageous action that offers all praises only to Allah. Afternoon prayer is the yearning of the soul and its struggle to persevere on the path. Evening prayer is the resurrection into the garden of paradise. Night prayer is the intimate nearness to Allah that prepares the soul for the mystic union of lover and beloved, the culmination of the path, the blissful return of the ray of light into the source of light. These are drops from the limitless ocean of the spiritual meanings of the 5 prayers, the shining white banner of the noble Sharia of Islam. The melodious call to prayer pervades all creation, flowing through the instrument of the human voice from the essential silence of the supreme source. This invitation to conscious unity awakens the ecstatic response of prayer within the hearts who tremble inwardly at these resonant words of the call to love, the call to realization. Leaving the entire complex world of the limited self behind without the slightest regret, the invited guests stream to the banquet chamber of the King of Light. They gather within the palace of vision so vast that no one can perceive its walls. Intoning the words of transcendence, Allahu Akbar, which bring our awareness beyond limited concepts and partial experience, we face the direction of prayer. This is the straight path of light, stretching directly to each heart from the full moon of truth, reflected across the waters of creation. As we raise our hands above our shoulders, by the power and permission of Allah, relative existence falls behind us. With the 7 mystical steps of Surah Fatiha, containing in condensed form all revelation that has ever come to humanity, we begin to ascend along the path of light to the formless goal of light. Bowing at the waist, we gaze deep into the inward glory of Allah at the heart of our being. Plunging into prostration, we lose ourselves in the ocean of love. Seated in the kneeling position, we abide in joyous companionship with Allah the Beloved and the 124,000 holy messengers of the Beloved. From Abraham, upon him be peace, to the final fruition of the light of prophecy, the rose garden of the nightingales of Quranic verses. Finally, imbued entirely within the peace of Allah, having become overflowing goblets of prayer, we offer divine peace to our right and left along the prayer line of all human beings who have ever prayed or will ever pray to the one reality, who receives all prayers and who continuously receives the entire universe back into his essence. Exalted beyond all conception be he. This, a beautiful offering of peace. At the culmination of prayer, is received gratefully by all the kingdoms of life as a sweet spiritual fragrance. Opening our hands in pure supplication, not grasping at any finite desire in this world or the next, we receive through our palms the particular energies of blessing that Allah most subtle ordains for each person at the time of prayer, placing our sanctified palms upon our faces, as the warrior of truth, the noble Moses, placed his right hand beneath his arm. We shine with radiance for anyone who has Allah's permission to perceive the Nur al-Islam. Light of prayer now beams from the foreheads of the people of prostration, the people of the right hand, the people of paradise, the people of peace, the people of nearness. These are atoms from the boundless sun, of the radiant meanings of the movements, positions, and spiritual stations of the prayer of Islam, brought down by the Holy Prophet from his magnificent night journey through divine attributes into divine essence. With what ecstatic longing, wonder, and awe should we approach the lines of prayer, which are 27 times more powerful than the same prayer conducted in solitude. May we always move with the graceful movements of the prayer and the silent dignity of the prayer, for prayer is the very nature of our humanity. The beauty of our person, including the beauty of our physical form, is only the beauty of prayer. We are always waiting for the next time of prayer, and that waiting is counted as prayer. We are prayer, coming to prayer, and abiding as prayer. We are prayer serving, prayer sleeping, prayer breathing. Thus the leader of the prayers of humanity, the one who is perfected in prayer, instructs those who long to pray to come to prayer with the human dignity and divine peace characteristic of Islam. The precious and illuminating stream of the oral tradition recounts, while we were praying with the Messenger of Allah, he heard the noise of some people approaching. After the prayer, he asked them why they were making such commotion, and they replied that they were hurrying to join the lines of prayer. He said, "Do not make haste or run to prayer. Whenever you come for the prayer, you should come with calmness and solemnity." Bismillah. Through beginning each action, taking each step and breath, following each train of thought, and formulating each intention with Bismillah ir-Rahman ir-Rahim, in the name of Allah, all compassionate and all merciful. The dervish lovers who gaze into the mirror of spiritual dreams will see that their heads have disappeared into graceful flames. The musical cry, Bismillah ir-Rahman ir-Rahim, will then resound from the entire being of the dervishes and fill the universe. From the shining eyes of such persons, tears of love will fall like huge raindrops upon the white marble floor of the grand mosque in the Medina of the heart. The mercy and compassion of Allah will flow through the open channel of such persons with great subtlety, gentleness, and profusion. Each thought, perception, and action occurs no longer simply in the name of Allah's mercy, but as the very mercy of Allah. This is why the holy and tender Prophet, upon him be peace, is honored as the mercy of Allah to all the worlds. He actually became Bismillah. He breathed only Bismillah. He slept and ate, walked and talked only through and as Bismillah ir-Rahman ir-Rahim. This spiritual station of becoming Bismillah, this full realization of the compassion and mercy of Allah in and through one's entire being, was transmitted by the Prophet to the holy ones of his community. Merciful lovers of humanity from his pure lineage of divine compassion and mercy now exist everywhere across the green earth, like sacred, ever-flowing springs, living lives of mercy alone. Allah is mercy. The Prophet of Allah is mercy. The religion of Allah is mercy. The devout practitioners of the religion are mercy. The followers of the mystic way are mercy. And the goal of the mystic way is to merge entirely into infinite mercy. The human bearer of divine mercy never so much as tears a green leaf from a tree, as the merciful Muhammad teaches in his sublime oral tradition. The thirst of a dog eating dump sand around a desert well becomes our own burning thirst, and we will fill our shoe with water so the suffering animal can drink, as one of the intimate companions of the Prophet is recorded to have done. Through the beloved Muhammad, intercessor for humankind, jinn and angels, and opener of the floodgates of mercy into the field of hearts, the human bearer of divine mercy receives the spiritual gift and continuous function of intercession. Those who have received the gift of intercession through the Holy Prophet and his spiritual lineage, passed from hand to hand along the line of mystic sheikhs, pray only for others. Such persons simply become mercy. Their only longing is that human beings fall in love with divine unity and enter the paradise of unity. These persons of mercy never consider entering paradise until all beings have been removed from the anguished thirst of negativity and have drunk their fill from the clear fountain of the affirmation of unity. If the thirst of a dog spurs the true lover into compassionate action, how much more will the spiritual thirst of human beings, who are all our beloved ones, elevate us to the highest level of action? A life of constant intercession in the intimate abode of the All-Merciful One. This way of life will continuously proclaim divine mercy, living and breathing Bismillah ir-Rahman ir-Rahim. The good pleasure of Allah, the consent of Allah, the sweet response of Allah, and the mystic embrace of Allah are directed to the person of mercy. A single tear of pure love that falls from the corner of the eye of the person of mercy puts out the fires of hell. An instantly outstretched hand of selfless compassion is more pleasing to Allah than all the prayers of a lifetime performed with self-involved and self-serving motivation. A single drop of loving kindness, falling as miraculous rain from the paradise of self-forgetfulness and continuous remembrance of Allah, can purify, sweeten, and make fragrant an entire lifetime, an entire family, an entire community, as a potent drop of rose essence can make 100 vials of perfume, bringing refreshment and delight to many persons covered with the dust and cares of the world. The sweetest mercy of Allah that flows through the person of mercy is often hidden, or tiny as an atom, expressing divine mercy perfectly through small acts of kindness, which mysteriously contain the boundless power of Allah, the power that creates and withdraws the universe. This energy of divine mercy, vibrant within our hands and within our intellect, prepares and clears the way for others, as Allah most merciful prepares the earth for life, opening fertile soil and wombs with seeds of spiraling growth. Through the energy of divine mercy, plants, animals, and human beings awaken together in harmony. The person of mercy, the embodiment of Bismillah, exercises utmost intensity of attention at every moment. Visiting prisoners, nursing the sick, freeing those who are enslaved, feeding the hungry, educating those who hunger for knowledge, defending the oppressed, consoling the bereaved, protecting orphans, resurrecting hearts that have spiritually died, singing out with hearts that are alive in the living one, demonstrating the life of praise to new generations, rekindling courage and faith in the hearts of the grandmothers and grandfathers, as the single sun transmits abundant life to a vast variety of living beings. By the permission of Allah, the person of mercy shines forth from divine mercy as rays of tender compassion during every second of his or her existence, a truly human existence, all its dimensions drenched with Bismillah, overflowing with Bismillah, fused with Bismillah. How sweet a single word or glance from the person of mercy, within whom and from whom the radiance of Allah's own delight is streaming. The person of mercy pours water for our ablutions, leads us in selfless prayer, and brews us delicious coffee. The soul, through internal experience and external events, never burdening the soul with even one atom's weight more spiritual responsibility than it can bear, to welcome this pressure instantly and instinctively with all one's heart and mind is submission. Submission is the advanced training of the soul. One submits to Allah often with tears, but always with spiritual joy. Any obvious or subtle presence of emotional heaviness, complaint of spirit, or clever pattern of avoidance and self-justification invalidates our submission and brings us back to the beginner's level of accepting the will of Allah reluctantly and under protest. Authentic submission to Allah Most High creates the sensation of effortlessness. It is sweet and graceful, accompanied by the deep inner silence that indicates the increasing transparency of the layers of the limited self to the light of the limitless source. The great efforts made to submit personal willfulness to the all-embracing will can never succeed. No finite religious acts or moral disciplines can guarantee a place in the infinite paradise of willlessness. Pure love for Allah alone, possible only because Allah mysteriously reveals His love for us and places this divine love within us, can bring the sincere lover to the gates of the garden of submission. No one can open these gates other than Allah, the all-opening. Submitted persons undertake no thought or action on their own. The glorious Quran reveals how the illumined friend of Allah, the hidden sage Khidr, conducted the noble Moses through the elevated regions of submission, disclosing that even the messengers of Allah must study in the highest rank of the University of Souls called submission. Beyond all levels of the mystical path, even beyond the attainments of masters who have completed the path, lies the highest station, the Islamiyah, the perfection of submission. Submission is absolute transparency to the will of Allah. There is no longer any separate subject who is submitting to any divine force imagined as opposed from above. There is now only the will of Allah. There is no compulsion, no one to be compelled. The soul has not disappeared into fana, ecstatically merging into Allah, but has been established in the indestructible diamond state of Baka, moving in mystic companionship with Allah, yet remaining entirely within Allah, as nothing but an open channel for the expression of Allah. The person of submission becomes a conscious embodiment of divine will. Outwardly, this person appears exactly like other human beings, decisive, exercising strong preferences, holding high standards. Inwardly, this submitted one is vast emptiness, filled dynamically moment by moment with divine radiance and power. The serenity of this holy emptiness surpasses all understanding. At first the dervish strives to be an empty vessel. Now the striving and even the vessel have disappeared into Allah and re-emerged as Allah. The clarity and merciful energy of this boundless openness of submission is Allah's own delight and Allah's own creativity. Subtle beauty and startling, unexpected simplicity shine with the person of submission to everyone whom Allah gives permission to see. Divine light plays about this person in the midst of ordinary situations. The person of submission could be mistaken for an old bookseller or an ice cream maker. The one who is pure submission, the beloved Muhammad, will shine the delicate light of submission upon the whole world until the end of time. He is the full moon of tenderness that never wanes and the sun of wisdom that never sets. The sublime oral tradition reports that when asked about the daily life of the Holy Prophet, the precious Aisha, jeweled light of his eyes and mother of the faithful, responded in words that scintillate with the light of submission. He used to keep himself busy serving his family, and when it was time for prayer, he would go for the prayer. Gaze at the mysterious simplicity and dignity of submission, dear brothers and sisters, shining through another hadith. A cloud came and it rained till the roof started leaking. In those days, the roof of the mosque used to be the branches of date palms. The invitation to prayer was chanted, and I saw the messenger of Allah prostrating in water and mud. I even saw the mark of mud upon his forehead. Light. Opaque curtains, translucent veils, clear windows, open doors, bright mirrors, brilliant lamps, windowless and doorless barriers that open mysteriously, bridges of radiance over precipices and oceans, broad highways of sunlight, narrow paths of moonlight, beams of radiance emanating from the breast of holy beings on moonless nights, lightning flashes prolonged in ecstasy, angels of light, ladders of light, and stairways of light. These are the landscape of the mystic way. Spiritual travelers encounter these forms of light, which take form temporarily and change form instantly, as they traverse the infinite dimensions of the unified field of light and bodies of light drawn to the single goal of light. All existence, as the hidden depth of the glorious Quran reveals most mysteriously, is the light of Allah within the light of Allah, the Nur Nur. The cry of the soul is therefore light, light, more light, and only light. The light of Allah is the illumination of heaven and earth, the only medium of awareness and being, the sustenance of souls. All creation longs for light and evolves toward light. We are fish swimming in the ocean of light, birds flying in the sky of light. The insubstantial shadows of negation are cast only by the single light of affirmation. Atomic structures of matter, molecular structures of life, linguistic structures of culture, and ecstatic structures of spiritual vision are complexities that consist only of light and subsist only within the essential simplicity of divine light. All beings in the vast theater of divine creation are waiting for the curtain to rise, revealing the ultimate stage of light. The whole universe is poised, waiting for the call of light. The lovers of truth are deep in prayer, waiting for the smile of light. The beautiful letters of the Arabic Quran are written by the pen of light upon the pages of light with the luminous ink of human awareness and memory. The awesome letters of the cosmic Quran are the billions of stars bearing the fruit of life-sustaining planets and flowering civilizations that contain precious beings of light who turn in prayer only to the single source of light. There are 18,000 universes, each an ocean of countless galaxies, swirling currents of light containing whirling dervishes of light. The first light, Nur Muhammad, the light of prophecy that streams through all civilizations, stands in the open door of light in his abode of light, gazing with his gaze of light upon the lovers of light, granting them the supreme gift of his smile of light. With his strong right hand offered to those who have stumbled or fallen along the path of return into light, he holds up the door curtain of light, revealing himself for a few moments of brilliant light in his humble dwelling in the ancient desert wilderness of Arabia. Then he lets the curtain fall again, and the light of his countenance, so tender and beautiful, no longer shines externally, but springs forth as a fountain of light in the luminous paradise of the hearts of his lovers. Allah Most High, exalted beyond all conception be He, created the 18,000 universes solely for the Muhammad of light, and through the prismatic instrument of the Muhammad of light for Nur Muhammad, through Nur Muhammad, to Nur Muhammad. The entire spectrum of energy, space, time, and eternity is light alone, appearing to be separated into kaleidoscopic wavelengths. There is no actual separation within light, nor is there any other reality for the one light to be separate from. The great wave of revelatory light upon this earth, which began with the Prophet Adam, may the radiant peace of Allah shine upon his soul, has reached the shore of reality and has culminated as the sparkling white water of light, the bright wave falling in prostration at the throne of light, the beloved Muhammad of Arabia. Now all creation must become, through the power of Allah alone, one conscious wave of light containing all lives, all energy forms, all souls. At this moment of culmination, the Muhammad of light will drop the curtain upon the luminous pulse of creation, as he dropped the curtain for the last time in front of his shining human face. The explosion of inward light will know no bounds. Curtain, wall, doorway, desert, and prayerful lovers will disappear into light and reappear as light, where nothing is lost and where all souls are with the ones they love. O translucent pearl of the universe, O Muhammad of light, by the mysterious permission of Allah, the curtain is in your hand. Through you, the original treasure of essence has been revealed as light. For you, the source of light created the creation as vast structures of light. Through your light, these structures have become manifest, and by your light of prophecy they have reached their culmination. Your light, Nur Muhammad, is now calling all beings of light to return consciously and freely into the source of light. Your light, from which souls and universes began, will now end the universe as well, embracing all into mystical union. Gracefully you are standing in the doorway of light, gazing for a moment with infinite tenderness upon humanity, smiling and holding the door curtain. as we read in the radiant oral tradition. When the people were aligned in rows for the prayer, the Prophet lifted the curtain of his house and started looking at us. His face gleaming like a page of the Holy Quran, he smiled with joy. Abu Bakr retreated to join the first row since he thought the Prophet would come to lead the prayer. The Prophet beckoned us to complete the prayer, and then he let the curtain fall. On that same day, he died. Thus concludes section 1011 of Adam from the Son of Knowledge by Lex Hixon Nur Al Jerrahi. Next time with section 1012, we'll pick up again in Islamic Meditations. I will see you then. Alam.